G2 doing enough to slow it down. Lee's timing is impeccable.
Silent all over, and second swings backside, gets 3.
And it can only end like this. Map 5 on the horizon as G2 manages to pick up Fracture 13-5 in what can only be one of the quickest maps that we have seen here in this series so far.
What is mental about the pace of that map compared to the rest? Split had less rounds played. It was a 13-4, yet that map went for 15 more total minutes than Fracture at a 13-5. And this map in particular, I think, really illustrates what Josh Artie has said about how dynamic the team is with the pace, with Chocobo in the roster. Fracture, their average time to plant the spike, G2, is 35 seconds compared to, for instance, on Abyss, 50 seconds. Split, 57 seconds. They are running it down on this map, and it's because they have a guy like Jaw.
And I want to show a couple of the XX where they are running it down throughout this game, because they had some really well put together executes with this comp that we were seeing out from G2. This first one, they're all passing that Vise wall together, so it doesn't actually cut anyone off. Then it's an aftershock to stop the flood from coming in. Then they're throwing down thorns. They have so many layers of utility to stop the defenders getting out these smokes. Most of the time the win condition as a defender on Fractures, getting past that smoke, getting in on this flood. But with the Vise, with the Brim Mollies, with Raise Nades, they're so good at stopping Sentinels from having that opportunity. Here's another. Jaw gets sent flying with the rocket in hand. They're ulted by the Teo, but they still get outside. They still have thorns. That combines with an aftershock to get a kill onto the breach, and then they clean up with some really pretty fundamentals on this round as well. And it was rounds like this all day on that attacking side to put G2 so far up on Fracture.
Incredibly impressive to see the speed at which G2 is taking some of these executes, and I mean, just even reflected in the first kills as well. Just the fact that you start off just so aggressive in their face, really leaving Wyatt Sentinels with no real option but to just kind of like deal with that aggression every single time.
It is this composition that is so explosive, and cool to see Jaw on the Raise on this map instead of the Yoru that Sentinels were opting for. We see that Yoru be, to some extent, a natural counter to this Tejo meta where you can draw out the util and teleport away. But when you have the Raise, that's just even more damaging utility to sync up with everything else that you've already got. So when you're playing that fast style, anchoring against this comp is next to impossible.
Yeah, no, of course. And there's obviously, as we look forward here, we have Fracture on the horizon. I mean, I don't even know what to expect. Oh, sorry, not Fracture, Haven. I don't even know what to expect there. Look at that, my brain's all
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this last map was like the Jojimo Raise show, but there's so many options on which way G2 could go. For context, neither of these teams has played Haven just yet in Kickoff. So this is a complete unknown quantity going into map number 5 of a series. Is it going to be more Breach Teo Yoru like we've seen from Sentinels? Is it a more classic comp like what the Brazilian teams have played? There's a lot of options for this map number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last we were seeing of Haven, it was the very standard, you got your Breach, you got your Jet, etc. What we've always seen on the map. And do they dare try and play with a Tejo look to try and really prioritize controlling areas of the map like A main? It's possible, but so cool that we've made it the distance in this series. So we got to see SEN debut on Fracture, and we get to see both teams debut on this.
Well, that's what it's all about right there. They're playing for the Kickoff trophy. And of course, for Sentinels, they'll be playing for their second Kickoff trophy here in G2, desperately trying to get their first. The question is, who's going to come out on top? You don't want to miss it. Map 5 coming up right after this, and we'll see you on the other side.
This is it. This is what it all comes down to here in our grand finals of kickoff for Americas itself as well. G2, they have been so close in the past, man. They've had two chances to win a grand finals here. They've been in familiar spots, but it's crumbled beneath their fingers multiple times. Sentinels themselves have gone on a run. They can cast their minds back to 2024 and understand how far they came in that fashion in kickoff itself.
And the last time that we saw these two teams match up in this tournament, Sen weren't close, right? So it's not like you have that same fire underneath you of we're within touching distance. This time they are. Breach Tejo gonna come out with Yoru, so sticking so heavily to the meta, if you want to call it that at the moment, for G2. Not adapting to Sova Breach, for example, or playing a Jet here. What are we gonna see from Sen? There are so many different options on Haven. Oh, I love this. Okay, so Yoru ISO going back to like a Fnatic-esque composition, but allowing both of your duelist players, because let's be real, that's what Narrate is in his heart of hearts, to go out there and frag. If there was a map for Narrate to be able to come back to Americas after his year in EMEA and showcase that he's that kind of player that deserves respect to pick up a trophy, he could put out an insanely good performance here on ISO. What to expect? Neither of these teams have played Haven this year.
You can only go off familiar scenes whenever teams are trying to play the same compositions, but you just don't know how they're going to be coming into it themselves. From map 5, the decider for the grand finals between these two teams. They're getting readied up. They're going to be heading into Haven. A pistol round where it always begins. But so many unknowns here. We've got to get the energy up because this is it. It's what both of these teams have been looking forward to. Revenge for Sentinels to steal away that trophy and title and chance for G2. And for them, it's been in the making for many, many years.
We know roughly how the Yoru ISO composition is going to work. There are not many people playing G2's compositional archetype here on Haven. It has huge amounts of area denial, but it should be limited on the info it gets on defense, I think.
Full speed ahead. Sentinels, not quite, faking it out.
Waiting for a fault line, waiting for a salvo, something like that. Maybe even seeing if the wall was triggered there.
Yeah.
And the clone did pass the choke point, so you're pretty confident the Vice isn't playing C.
Just leaves two options on A. One from B, one garage.
Light
work.
Tons of different lanes, but it does mean that they could re-hit C after a little bit of exploration elsewhere. So they're pushing back a potential defensive push on A. Looking to cut off some rotates too, or are they going to hit the B site?
Might be where their eyes are settling on, but
Zeken's gate crash just expired in spawn, so he's going to be stuck on the C lurk.
I think they're trying to make this feel like a B hit, and they're going to pivot into the C, but we'll find out ourselves. Shield popped, trying to ISO these fights. Celsius gets caught onto the flank there. Stun's going to be that connection. Narrate a lot to do into this spot. Spamming away, praying, and the damage done. He was whistled down to just double digits, and it was enough at the end of the day, but Zeken has granted him at least easy access, potentially over towards C. He might have just seen it, twists and turns, and his fights are taken. Jorgamo wins it out versus Bang. Man, it's going to be committed. Stuck down by John QT, but it's him and Zeken with a lot to do.
A 2v2 fighting garage going to be set up here.
And damage done prior. I mean, Jorgamo just goes down. That's a TP relocation. Pivot back and away, but John has taken that space. Didn't anticipate that there was a second player ready to face it. And now Zeken in that 1v3. Valen's got the smoke for it. It's very difficult to play this one. Zeken purely just have to base it off of spam, essentially. And now he can stick it. His team's applying that pressure down through C main.
Another pistol round win there for G2. I'm not seeing the vision for Sen. I don't think that's exactly what they drew up in their plan beforehand. They ended up setting 3 separate players to lurk. Zelsis had the lurk over towards A long. Narrate kind of contacted into B and ended up lurking in.
Looking at his radar while lurking and just died.
And yeah, Leaf is just pointing out that caught a player looking at the minimap. So 3 separate people trying to set up a lurk. Including Bang was the other player that I didn't mention there that we saw get caught in mid.
Sentinels a little bit all in, but TP forwards, and okay, what do you hear that? Zekken out into the open. Repeat taken by Jorgamo. He's not shy to take those fights.
One of your big, small objectives in this round, I suppose.
Timing.
Oh,
Bangs managed to catch this. Yep. The drone
What
did not
on
clear him. Oh, he's playing this one to almost perfection. Paranoia sweeps its way through. Not sure if that connection's there, but a Util's going to be coming out in spades to see if they can help this one out. That's a TP into the back corner. Aftershock somehow catching on to these players. Ring around the rosies and a spike drop down into the open. There were chances there. Got to respect Sen. The gumption to even try and go for a play like that and bang to jump on it, but doesn't work out.
That's 2 rounds in a row that Sentinels have called some kind of contact play through a choke point. And it makes me think that that's part of their overarching strategy, is to not give timings for the salvo, for the stun. Bang couldn't quite pull off the teleport there before the aftershock that came through default caught him.
Hey, we got away with the mistake. Let's guys, call contact, call shit.
Yeah, and I think that's important there, is that somebody needs to be taking contact. They're holding spots expecting Sentinels to make noise and use util. And they've been caught now kind of twice.
Oh, Jorgamo is in their faces. He's only got a bulldog to his name. He's trying to take that fight, but TP backing away once more to safety. Time ball for Trent. Needs to be very careful and worried. He's lucky not to just trade out that orb for his life. G2 are now going to be getting primed and ready, and this is so quick, man. They're using a drone for the re-clear down through A short. All tripped up.
Leaf versus Zelsis again on the flank, on the lurk. Leaf has been good for it 2 out of 2 rounds so far.
Flash breaks the thorns before there can be too much more damage done. G2 grouping up towards mid.
Wow, double re-clearing mid, giving up garage. What a call from Leaf.
They've got to squeeze on them, though. Do these players even know? Are they even aware? The answer is no. Leaf strikes right from behind, and Zelsa's got to do a lot here. He's got to try and salvage this entire hit that's coming through over towards the A site. Zelsa can now become a bit of a problem player for them. Do they have to clear up the cam? It's a game of cat and mouse. What a plan does go down, but oh, he's looking in a different direction.
Jorgamo is also a problem player, though. He was behind in A long, and Sen never cleared it.
Drop down! Oh my God, what's occurring? No one's covering these fights. And the angle's there. Jorgamo's in their faces. Do they know where Bang is? Sticking, Jorg gets halved. There's a smoke to supplement it, covering it, obfuscating it. It's 3 in a row for G2. The problem that's rearing its head. Bang survives with the rifle, but it's a consolation prize, man, because Kaplan mentioned this. Doesn't matter how much prep you put into a map. Doesn't matter how close you are on the gun rounds. If you lose the pistol, if you lose the bonus, you're going to lose the map.
But they've also lost the pistol and bonus by trying to get weird lurk plays through all over the place. You have a Yoru ISO composition. A Yoru ISO composition, sorry. Just make some space with the Paranoia and with Zekken's teleport and allow Narrate to run around trying to frag people. This contact stuff is to try to get around and behind Jonapi and Trent's util. But it's also making Sen not play together and play to their win conditions.
It's a full investment by Sen. Kept the one rifle, but half armor almost across the board. Regen shields if they can afford it. Jorg is going to get information gathered. Wait a second.
He just came out of
his
zone.
He just came out of Dimensional Drift. He looks like he wants to try and take that fight up through a lobby. They're not giving it to him.
He teleported back as well. Have they heard that? They're still pinging out areas over towards A lobby, so...
And up through mid. Oh,
brutal.
Smoke propped up. Information gathered, and they're just not watching their backs, man. These angles are open. G2 making a mockery of it right now. We didn't know what to expect here for Haven, but the game plan has just fallen to pieces for Sen.
They're leaving so many gaps, and G2 are finding them. I think Zelsa's got to be more defensive in his Cypher play rather than trying to find the lurk timings. He needs to stop G2.
Jonapi.
30 seconds left.
Tucked up tight, reinforcements arriving. Spot the back, there's a swing. Bang's lucky.
Here's Zelsis trying to find that lurk timing, though.
There's 20 seconds left. G2 no. Lost garage control. Okay, whipping a rifle back around again. Zelsis did get the 1 kill, but there's only 13 seconds left. They don't have main control.
10 seconds
I mean, Leaf has got this. Bang in the smoke.
Trying to go for it, a bit of spam. Oh, it's revealed his hand. Definitely has, but it's uncomfortable for Sentinels. They know that they have to fight for control of at least one of these areas of the map, and bullets are flying forwards. It doesn't matter. The player advantage that G2 have earned up more than enough to sail their way to victory in a 4th round now.
if you're looking for the cope for Sentinels here, once they get up to Euro ult, ISO ult, they can start to apply much more pressure onto these sites. But you can't be relying on the ultimates the entire time. And you're still a round away from that, by the way. I mean, Sen have got to go, I think, here for another eco.
One enemy remaining.
It's looked like Sen's permaban. Yeah. So far, right? It's looked like we're finally getting to the portion of the BO5 where G2's double map veto is giving them the win. And I thought we were going to get here earlier, I've got to be honest with you. I thought that G2 were looking so clean so far in kickoff, not dropping a single map coming into this grand final, that with double map veto, Sen were going to struggle to hold on. And we've been dazzled by what Sentinels have shown us so far in these first 4 maps. Especially starting out so strong on Split. But here, it's not cooking. By the look of things, we can see the economy, and it looks like Sen are going to try to force this round.
Opted into it again.
They're one away from getting every single ultimate online. The one that I would be prioritizing is Narrate's, because I think once you have Narrate's ISO ultimate on the attack side, you can grab a player, scale off the back of that, Paranoia, TP, Zekken into spots. There's a lot of big execs you can do, and it makes it very difficult for G2.
Concern here, though, G2 might be one step ahead with the player positions. Timer's going to start ticking at some point as we get down into the round.
Yeah, they are so far ahead of this, aren't they?
It's a salvo. The fault line, I think G2 going to try to take that early control. That makes it feel like Jorgamo's not here with the operator.
Well,
even pushing forwards.
Even if Jorg does have to teleport away, you've still got a crunch onto the ult orb.
He's made a bit of noise. Are they aware? Salvos. He's hoping that they get pushed back into him. Cracking shot by Narrate.
That gives him the ult as well.
With that, maybe you can snowball it into your advantage, but Senna taking it slow and steady once more.
The drone doesn't clear enough. The idea there is that the drone is supposed to see whether they're playing retake. If they are playing retake, you take the site. If not, you catch him in the ISO.
Great hit. Oh, Jonapi's been out in the open there. He thought that he had the timing. This dimensional drift might not even be necessary, but he is going to spot out these players. And hello, combo it up. Yep, take it into the gulag. Good luck winning it. And Trent somehow manages it. There's a shield to contest with. Still there, gets one. Locked up onto the side, but it was the impetus around that Sen needed. Took a lot to get there. Looked a bit messy in the process.
But it was the right call to force up, knowing that you had those ults about to come online. As soon as you get the ult cycle going, Sentinel's comp is really difficult to defend against. You see the combos that they have. And even when Trent gets this, he's gonna get traded out. It is ridiculous that he also caught John Cutie.
Yo, you're in the ISO, bro.
One of the things that does, though, I mean, obviously it lets Trent talk. Whoa, what are we going for here?
Off the rip, splashes in their faces, salvos and Armageddon! Narrate stems the bleeding and takes the bite out of that play. Jorgamo's still going to be taking the space off the back of that, but forced to respect it with a TP of his own. They're trying to squeeze these players.
Yeah, it's a set play that we've seen some other teams go for, actually, but...
Leaf holds on, Zealous! Leaf's grabbed 2! Trent through the back to Razorvine and Hunter's Fury. He's going to be whipping his way around with just a 1 tag. Not enough to get the damage done. Not enough for the kill that they're looking for. Still a 2v3.
Jorgamo's coming around the flank. No, he's not.
Takes it for the TP. I mean, this is just going to be... Again, that chaos sown into the mix, into the round itself. There's 2 players on Sentinels. They're looking to see if they can carve an opening.
Trent just got salvos back. They're trying to bait them out. Trying to bait out a peek.
Fighting for a link control as 2 players to meet them. Spots the shoulder. It's going to be a clone into your face. Could be blinding you potentially, but he turns it still. Flashed up. And they're just wandering, waiting out into the open backside. 5-1.
Looked like Joe got that kill full blind as well. 5-1. Rough for Sentinels, especially when they start that round with 2 clean kills from Narrate. That's brutal. The decision to go into the B side there, and Leaf eats them up. I mean, that is ISO value. That's what you play this composition for, and then... What an angle.
Where are you going?
This is worrying because G2, you can tell inside their comms, can feel the win, can feel the trophy.
Absolutely.
And if you're trying to play on the fact that G2 have choked before, you want to start strong, not allow them to get the confidence.
Salvo's out through mid, that's G2. Slowing down a potential mid-take.
This is one of the reasons the ISO's so good. You can use that shield to be able to just gather ult orbs up. And Narrate, once he ults, he always has an ult point back. It should be so simple to cycle these massive ultimates up.
Time to jump.
Big struggle though so far for SEN. Now they're looking to make their way over towards A. Narrate's gonna take a peek. It's a double player held down. I mean, they were watching for it. They hear the sound cue from the shield. He only gets the one. And every smoke, every option is watched for. Right now, SEN are just throwing anything at the wall, seeing what sticks with these lurk plays. TP committed. Leaf is wondering whereabouts these players could be. Rolling Thunder gives him the time for the drop down. Flash on top of it. Hell player banging to win that fight out, and he still needs to hold it down even further. It's just one man though. What can he do? Dodge at a flash. Quick turn to the side. Plant's still not down for them. Gonna be stuck, committed. Cosmic Divider forces them forwards into the fight and into the fray. And G2 are now aware of it. They know the possible positions. The IGL has you in his sights.
G2 are dismantling Sentinels. You see it in the rounds. Narrate just decides to pick a timing to apply his shield and swing C long. I mean, maybe just hoping that he would catch a solo Jorg holding the angle. And then Zekken does a very similar thing and just tries to find a timing into the B smoke. Both duelists lurking in this round. It's ranked-esque strategies, not what you expect from a team like Sentinels. But again, this is their permaban, so how much can you really judge them for the situation that they're in? They did an amazing job to get to map 5 here. But if they wanted a chance at victory with the benefit of hindsight, maybe it had to come on Fracture.
Yeah, just a little bit earlier.
Because this is looking tough. This looks like a team that doesn't have the depth in their map pool against an opponent that has got rid of Bind and Lotus. They're not going to be in these kind of spots too often. This only happens in grand finals.
It does. Just that best of 5 debuff that just occurs because when it gets drawn out to this point, like you've been mentioning, it comes down to the preparation. How deep does your map pool go? Of course, there's the mental resilience part of things. And SEN have got, listen, they're not lacking that experience in that department. They've been in tenuous spots like this before, competing for titles, trophies in grand finals, but G2, they just want it more.
And they've prepped more here as well. And also they've had enough of the match to get their form back, I think. And especially for Trent. I've been so impressed with what he's put together in the last 2 maps. He's looked electric. I think he'd probably be my MVP so far of this match. Still plenty of rounds left to play though, and there's a chance that Narrate can come online. He's still at the top of the scoreboard. He's not playing too badly, but the whole team doesn't really seem to have a good idea of how to maximize his value. But he's got the ult.
Oh, Salvo fault line. All being expended here, but that's a TP clone. Actually on top of the bricks. That's a ult narrowly avoided.
He got the clone, did he?
Sucking onto a couple of these players. Yeah, is that a clone play? Absurd reactions from Jordan. We're just anticipating it, but a clone in your face doesn't matter. No, he can't go and get out. It's traded in time. Bang at least gives them that. And a player advantage on top of it, but they haven't cleared. Valin backs to him. And quick reactions from Celsius. Make sure to watch that angle, but damage done to Bang. Wrapping around by Leaf. It's all about his timing, and they are doubled up towards short. Doubled up, and he's, the player weak. Does he anticipate? The Celsius has cut it up into the corner. It's all about this timing. The fight to be taken. Off-angle approach. And the player, the man that has held his ground and stood up to many questions and challenges, Celsius delivers them around.
What a scrappy fight over there towards A-Long. Bang TPs himself on top of bricks, which was unexpected to start. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in the midst of all of that, we saw a pretty sick outplay with Jordan using his clone to stop Narrate's ultimate. Didn't get them the round win though. SEN get 2.
That same A-lobby aggression used off the rip forces the slowdown for SEN. Not that they were looking to go into that direction anyway.
Recon Dart also used off the rip towards the back of the C site, which I don't really understand the value of for John. I'll have that back at the minute mark.
Upton back into trying to take control of some of these areas. There's a wall into the face of Zekken.
Narrate kind of wastes his shield here just to take garage control instead of... Well, I mean, I guess he's applying pressure. He's kind of just acting as a distraction and a lurk. It's a weird way of using the ISO.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to force that re-clear, which Leaf apparently not favored for. Valin! It's impeccable with the timing. I mean, Narrate just not worried about it. He's trying to back himself out of the fight. Clone was used in mid, just pulls back that wall as well on top of it, but the salve is going to be used as that response, and Jorgamo ready to lock it down. He's got teammates at his back, and he's taking a fight straight to them. Flashes in their face, stuns the supplement, slow down the pace. The drone now has to be offloaded. Sen looking to get themselves in. It's a half clearance. It's a half clearance! Trent, he's just decimated them!
Beautiful distraction. You can't get past this guy. He's been unbelievable in these last couple maps. He's 12-3 currently. And he lit the world up on Fracture too. The defensive util that G2 have to work with here is barbaric.
I'm caging.
I mean, he's making a comment there that the cage was beautiful for him to play around despite it being thrown from Zelsis, I think.
It's all smiles for G2.
All right, here's an exec, though, from Sen, on an eco, albeit.
And they need Narrate to lead that charge. It is an eco. Hold on, twist and turns. You're trying to break the ankles, but again, not quite the weaponry for it still. Clan gets the one, swing through the cage. And Zelsis has gone down anyway. It's rapid. And it feels like desperation at its core.
When you run those kind of fast hits, it does make it really easy for G2 to be able to find the right timings for their stuns, flashes, sucks, pulls, salvos. They've got everything. It's really tough. You can see why Sen are trying so much of this lurking, contacting style of play. But it makes their comp look so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can John pull a rabbit out a hat in the world's most unlikely 1v3? Because otherwise, they've still only got 2 rounds out of 10.
There's no gun. It's not util, but he doesn't want to reveal it. The only thing he's got going for him is that they don't know where he is. He's timing across to the drone, but, well, dart's in order, and Salvo's at your feet. Good luck crossing that boundary. Cosmic Divide even committed. Shows a bit of respect, I think, that G2 are making sure to expend these ults. And they've got the crossfire set up. Jump spot. It's going to be dealt with.
It's okay. He drew out the Cosmic Divide. That's a win. But Sen needs some rounds at this point. G2 are running away with it. You're seeing that gap now between these two teams here on Haven. And they're going to have so many tools as well to use on the attack. This is not just a defense-sided comp. We've already seen when they play, you know, Split, for example, is one where this comp is really difficult to stop once it gets rolling.
So far, G2 though on track. Be grabbing that title, a trophy. It's eluded them and evaded them most of their careers. Here's aggression. Increase again with the tempo, but that's Bang just perched up on top of the staircase, and the angle unexpected for Jorgamo.
G2 feel like they have to make something happen here, because if they wait, Sentinels have got an enormous ult advantage. There's the Cypher ult.
Yeah. And it pushes back G2 when they were looking for another go of things outside the full doors. All up. Nerofef gives them the info. They know that that's just the one lurking for it, and Zekken's going to be gathering even more information. Thorn's popped off, but he doesn't care about that. Straight into the fight, Leaf. How cheeky do you want to get? Armageddon is going to be layered down onto these players as well, and it's created that window in the pocket. Still Zekken from behind, and he does wrangle his rifle just in time. It's 2 dropped. Zekken needed that. Needed to show himself up here still. He's stunned. Go to the corner and unaware of where Jonah P could be coming from. Wait a second, it's a 1v2. Drone not being used. Flash up and over towards the top, but tagged up. Jonah P forced to respect it. Cannot give these G2 players ins, and you can feel it now. Sen realize it. Offload and for the util. Doubled up. It's a good call to make.
Sen get another on the board. An A4 half could be possible. Could be. They would have to come out with some amazing game plans on the defense. Narrate's one away from getting ISO ult online. You can drag a player into a 1v1. but he doesn't want to go for Chocomo's clone again. You saw, I mean, this flood defend idea from G2. They have the Vice flash, and then Trent running through a smoke. Zek had to do everything to stop it from working. Pryo has got to be getting that orb onto Nare.
Need the ult. See if they can turn around in their favor. As you said, 8-4, maybe it's winnable if Sen are able to grab it. G2 called in for the reinforcements just early on over towards A, but now playing a bit more fluidly. You hear the drone. Going to be used pound for pound out through mid as well. Both teams are going to be hunting for that information, and there's no orb in sight. Narrate just wants to try and take the fight straight to them. Maybe if he earns a kill, but that's a shield expended. He desperately needs this. He's forward, taking the timing, matters into his own hands, but it's just going to be fading out. The duration and an ult of their own. Jorgamo is going to be using it, gathering it, and he sees it. Tip tap of the footsteps, Leaf cutting up close onto the corners. Unexpected here, and here's some chaos for you. Attempt to reclear it forces Sen to slow down.
They've used Recon just to check spawn.
Yeah.
Narrate, even if he gets this ult orb, even if he gets the ult online, he doesn't have his shield because he wasted it earlier on.
That's what he would be hoping for. Any sort of advantage into this fight. Any information? It's an ult. A no-go. Everybody just cleanly out of the way. G2 now start swarming, getting into position for this one. Forwards, double taking, just trying to get ahead of the curve as well as his setup occurs. Blind as anything, Valin. He's just running rings around him, but Zekken left to try and control the situation. But it's too much for even him. 9-3. It's where we stand for the last map here of our kickoff grand finals.
And G2 are going to be feeling calm, comfortable, confident. After a very nervous beginning to this BO5, I would imagine we might get a chance. Might get a chance in the winner's interview.
What are you doing, brother?
With them to check that out, but here we go, all on the line, and G2 can sense that trophy.
A 9-3 half is what we're staring at, and it's the decider map for the grand finals. G2 have been on the cusp of a title many, many times before. This Valen-led team as well. They made sacrifices as well to stay together as a squad. They need this win desperately. You can feel it. And this time, they're holding all the momentum.
As you say, they were an Ascension team almost by choice. They were good enough for Tier 1, the players, but they chose to stick together in Tier 2. One Ascension came in, have been in multiple finals here in Americas as well, and this is their best chance. A pistol round that is desperate for Sentinels.
Their only chance, realistically, at this point. Slight pause into the round at the beginning. GT were hoping that one of the SEN players might have been caught unaware with a flash play.
Zekken's gone for the gate crash. So super common for the Yoru to start the round over towards A and then have that gate crash on C if needed. And maybe that mid Utility just baited it out when he could have held his ground a little longer. Sentinels have decided to play A for retake, and I think this is quite readable, because it's a pretty classic thing a Yoru Waisu comp would want to go for.
G2 just crawling up onto the angles. Not a huge amount of util expended. But now the smokes are going to be spelling it all out here. John, dart against the backdrop, into the wall, but that's a clone. Set your eyes towards this one here. A lot of util now to try and push back these Heaven players. On top of that with a shock dart, and time has been bought. There's only 35 seconds left. And which direction are you going into, G2?
They're going back to Leaf.
It's a mad dash.
Leaf found an enormous gap in garage.
And Sen just following those sound cues. Might be kicking themselves. They're rapid onto the approach once more. There's only 17 seconds left. They want to try and get ahead of most of this here, but a vulnerable is going to push Leaf back. He did this job. He got the space for his team to try and get that plant down, and now goes into the retake that Sen desperately need.
All missiles away.
Trying to put a squeeze on them. Still a wall to deal with. Just the shoulder peeking out. Shots fired off as well. Calls made for G2. They want to try and take this full focus in towards the back of the site. They're right to cracking one to try and open it up, and the issue forced. Jorgamo pressing forwards, but still these players, these bodies, as much as the advantage was found, it suddenly just turned all the way right around. G2, how are you managing this? It was all, I mean, it was looking so likely.
The double flank from Sentinels didn't clear Leaf. His Vice Wall got tripped and he tucked in a corner, and then Jonah came back to help. Jonah was just trading out. It's fundamental gameplay from G2. You see it here through his eyes. Other players die in front of him, but he's there to pick up the pieces. And it's pretty doom for Sentinels. It's not even a large reaction here for Josh RT. At this point, it's the expected outcome for G2. They'll be savoring it, thinking about it. That trophy is within touching distance, out there on the floor in front of them.
You just don't have the weaponry to util to hold a candle right now. Sen can pray that they can get a gap in, but listen, rapidly approached. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Sen, maybe if there was mistakes, but G2 aren't offering them. No cracks in the armor that they can wedge open.
They've certainly been tested in this match overall, but not here. And not on Fracture either. It's been a sprint to the finish line by the look of things. Sen are going to be waiting to get rifles online, hoping that they can do something, but this would be one hell of a comeback. Jumping into that just to try to deny Jonah P the kill, because they do not want a Rolling Thunder available for the bonus. They're fine dying to Trent. So Sen have now got to get themselves into a spot where they can deny a bonus round, hopefully deny a Rolling Thunder, somehow turn this around with no practice on Haven. And meanwhile, G2 are sitting pretty. They've eased into this match. It took them longer than we expected. I thought maybe they'd drop one map here today, but Sen have pushed them much further. But these last two have looked comfortable, back to that easy style of Valorant.
Yeah. G2 rolled out the red carpet for themselves, man. It's looking like casual jaunt for them as they get ever closer to that 12th round. This is going to be the best chance in a while for Sen. But you've got to do it multiple rounds in a row.
High-low setup here from Zelsis and Bang.
Oh.
Trying to deny the ult orb.
John clears. Oh, he missed his way around. I mean, he just committed the aftershock anyway. Doesn't matter that they missed him. This is C control and a TP deep up onto the side. Bang. Just trying to layer it down as well. A bit of recovery and fire is in order and necessary. And the Rate has got to do it all. Quick dismiss, a quick flick of the wrist just to try and dodge these dashes. And the flash is coming his way. 2 versus 3 though. Plant going down. No problems there. And G2 getting ever closer. Flowing forwards, facing away. John QT. It's a lovely time to make a play, but he's going to need a little bit more. Dart revealing, bit of spam potential, but still they're going to try and take this one together. And the jumping right clicks. They saved them for now.
That is what they needed. A John QT miracle. 11-4. It's still a nightmarish road for Sen to walk. But with less than 30 health combined, they get it across the line. Don't exactly understand how. This round ended up going so badly wrong for G2. They were set up pretty for it. They're going to need more of that. They're going to need G2 to take their eyes off the prize. Or get too obsessed with it and forget about the game, I suppose. Distracted by the gleam off the trophy. G2 group up for a fast A, looking to maybe to get Trent the Armageddon, shut the door in their face.
They're waiting for Util, trying to refight after it's expended on Sen's side. Salvos do enough as well to clear it out, so.
Yeah, they just push everyone away from reinforcing bricks. So as long as you hard clear bricks, as Jorg is doing, you're not too worried. Reclear though for Sentinels.
Yeah.
It was working on split, can it work again?
They're going for it. Grouped up. Shield popped. Paints the picture. It's obvious right now for G2, but despite how obvious it is, you have to hit back and you have to fight back. Sentinel's not willing to go down without a fight, not just yet. To escape from this one without giving away too many more kills because they have that player advantage.
Cautious and respectful from G2, just trying to control the aggression from Sen. Didn't want to take too many unnecessary risks, but now they're going to have to do something. Down 3v4, using that to break the trip.
The drone partially avoided still. It's good, John just playing back now, and the plan is retake over towards A. He's got the kill, he's played his life.
Individually.
No reason to overcomplicate it.
Individually, these initiator players on both teams are playing really well. Trent now, Armageddon online. I don't see how they could get this done. Should be Sentinels getting up to 5, especially because they're going to have full info on where these post-plant players are.
Did Zika miss the clearance? I'm not too sure. There's a dart. Rebounding round the back and spam into the smoke. They got to know and expect it. Yeah. So, conventional drift was essentially able to make that one just a walk in the park themselves. Sen, still here, still breathing.
Finding value off the reclear. They're going to need many more of those. So many more of those. But Narrate didn't have a chance to use his ISO ultimate here. So he's still got that available. And in a larger macro sense as well, they haven't really been exploring what Zelsis is up to.
One round at a time. Come on now.
Zelsis has been putting a trip garage and then a cam to also watch garage. So when the trip gets broken by Trent Salvos, he still has info. Now this round, they've swapped it over, and he's defending on A. Are they trying to get value from the ISO ult early?
What is this? Decision making for Bang. He's forced to just make the decision right here now. Still, he knows that the players cross past that threshold, and it is returned with a fire and a trade in sight. Bang dropped. Deep drone in. Could have been an incredible play to make.
Oh, Narrate used his shield, so he felt incentivized to use the ultimate, and he just sent it too late.
It's gone.
On an area that G2 had already evacuated. He does look a little uncomfortable on the ISO. Been a while since he played Duelist.
G2 happy to run rings around them. Within the chaos, they might thrive, and they might even be able to get that thrifty win still. Okay, there's a dart, a Hunter's Fury. It's all going to be used to stem the bleeding here for Sen. Cam as well. Look, you can play for this one to the retake. Give it a spam onto the corner just in case. Trying to time it right.
Double flank. They're not thinking about this, surely. John completely caught unaware.
Yeah. So bullet to the back of the head for Trent. Bala steps forwards, only earns himself the one, but Sight given up. Zekin with the rifle. Locks it all the way down. Safety in numbers, and Sen had it.
G2, they are 2 rounds away from getting that elusive trophy, and yet Sen are starting to put the rounds together. That's now 3 retakes, 3 diffuses in a row. And what a play for Bang to begin the round. I mean, you can see him stuck, not used to that. Had to make a decision. These are the last of G2's reserves. The piggy bank, it's running dry. Probably they're going to run a fast round here because Jorgamo has the Yoru ult online.
Yeah.
Sen should be able to read that.
They should. But we'll find out and we'll see. It's 2 players lined up out towards mid. Just the one spotted. Wait a second. Bait on the end of a stick. Gonna be calling for the pings as well. Dart, fault line, an attempt from Jorgamo. He's got to worry, and he seems to expect that play was occurring. The squeeze, trying to turn it onto him. Still, it's all the way out through C. You got Util out into the hands, and Narrate with a shield. Can't overstep himself here. If he goes into the Thorns, he loses it anyway, but the duration just running out. It's a nice little util combo still. They're not out of danger just yet. G2 have control of this one. It's a lot of util expended at that. Paranoia sweeps its way through. No play to take space though, not from SEN. I believe they're gonna get stalled out, and they are. Slow down, re-clearance out into garage. Might just come down to these fights that are taken. Dart rebounds. Zekun was almost alone when he's taking that one. And these players are falling. SEN to do a lot here. Clearing the way forwards. Chogomo is low. The dash, or at least the flash, is going to be broken here. Cut it up. Leaf cannot do it here. Leaving it down to Chogomo. TP up on above. Chogomo hears it. He expects it. But in a 1v2.
They are doing it. SEN are bringing this one back. 5 seconds that they still had to play with there. The retake coordination is great. The vulnerable into the shock dart is lovely too. But the way that they're playing off each other and the spacing here, pretty brilliant. Bang and John Cutie even setting up the high-low.
No, let's go.
Trent having 20 kills on the other side, and SEN still believe. G2 forced to take a tactical timeout. They're getting owned by these retakes, honestly. And it's strange because Leaf has Thorns down in the post plant. Narrate can't really get in with his shield. It's not the ISO that's necessarily providing all the value. It's the players coming in afterwards. And G2, I think, not quite setting up enough ideas for themselves. No garage reflanks, for example, on a round like that. They can't really fight post-plant aggression because they're trying to use the Thorns to keep the other team out from flood defending. It's starting to get concerning, actually. G2 may have just taken their eyes off the prize for a moment.
We got a glance at it, but you're exactly right here for G2. We know how much this means to them. Valens talked about it. They're confident coming into this season. They know that they're one of the best, if not the best team in Americas, but it's about how you prove it here and now in this grand finals. And for Sentinels themselves, listen, the mood has almost flipped. You wouldn't expect Sentinels to be down this many rounds with the way that they're acting after these rounds and the replays themselves. They know it's one round at a time.
At the same time, though, anything can happen. And these eco situations are often where the team with lower economy just throws caution to the wind. SEN, though, look like they're set up pretty to deal with this.
Odin primed and ready. It's going to be a Thorns straight towards the back of the site. It's going to be cutting off the exit route. SEN, we'll see if they just try and hold their ground into it. That's a TP forwards. Dismissed. Narrate's there.
I like what they're going for here with the high-low setups. All right, in front with a shield. Bang, Ward's playing up top. Bit of danger dismissed. And leaving Cypher utility with Zekun on the opposite side of the map to hold things down. I think G2 do need to be doing a bit more of this slow defaulting to get rid of Zellsis utility.
Through the back though, they're just looking for a plant at this point. Zellsis, okay, sidestep, Valens there. Still forcing them back in the Thorns. Sound cues are given off to G2, but it's just 2 players, what can they do? And it's accounted for, at least without angles. Zellsis wraps it all the way around. Leaf is right there behind them. Player down into mids, he's turned it into a 1v2. Up in the hands of Zekun. Spike, drop down. It's going to be the win comp here for Sentinels. Leaf does not expect it. Surely not, and yeah. Zekun just creeps around the corner. Locked in. Ready to take this all the way if necessary.
5 rounds in a row, and the gap down to 3. G2, at this point, barely in the lead. And certainly if they lose this round, in a super precarious position. They know that Zekun has an operator. G2 need to navigate that. They also need to be worried about the info that Zellsis is consistently applying. But they have ults to work with. Does that break the trip? Yeah, it does. So no kill trip over towards A-Long.
Zekun contemplating whether they wanted to step up to this, but you don't know if they've taken up control towards A, and G2 have. Drone's going to be used in a forward position. Everybody grouped up. There is no pivot option here for G2. It's all in. They're sending it, flying forwards now. Steel Garden on top of it. Cut to the corner. Zekun! Zekun! Like a thief in the night. Inside the cage. And he turned himself and his team an opening pick. Bang! Within that chaos, this man, of course, is going to be thriving. The windows of opportunities that are being created by his teammates. And they're ready to run this one all the way. to another round win. 2 left to stand from G2. How often have these players been in this spot? Valen and Jonah P. The rate's gone. There's a dimensional drift now to set the pace and change the tide of the fight potentially, but Jonah P's in himself. That roll in Thunder inside through short. Down to the 1v1. Valen, he's low enough. Tiniest of margins is what this lies on. Could it be 12 or could it be Sentinels in control of once again another round? John QT, there's no tap, there's no hiding it. It's half earned. He wants to stick it! And Valen punishes.
It's always these unexpected moments where the team in the lead somehow halts momentum. That's a spot where Sen, I think, had a slam dunk retake. Jonah P was flashed up. Zekan's blind hit him full to the face and Narrate was flanking short. I don't know how they whiffed that. I don't know how they weren't able to get the kill on the Professor. And then IGL v IGL, Valen takes it down. They're up to tournament point here in America's Kickoff.
And all it's gonna take is one. G2 playing empowered, there's passion behind them. Slow and steady though, not gonna be losing track of the discipline that's led them this far in the best of 5 series. Zekan, he's forwards, he needs to respect that drone, he breaks it, TP's back out. There's danger there if he gets caught with a suppression, but reclear protocols of G2 now coming through.
Needs to be perfection from Sentinels. Somehow they've made me believe. It looked like they were so out of it. It looked like the trophy was already in G2's hands. Senna going for a mid-reclear, caught by the flash.
Not just in time, there's no threat behind it. Zelsis steps forwards. He's only got a stinger in hands. Sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard for his team, but he's looking for mid-round information.
This is a disaster.
Sen have got the wrong idea completely on this one.
Entirely the wrong read. The C site is utterly open. Zelsis needs one here, and he might just get timing by Leaf. This is brutal in Garage.
What timing is he even looking for? Cosmic Divide drops it down. Trent going for the plant as well, and it has to be that retake by Sen. None the wiser, and they're only just going to realize it. They're going to be late to the party. It's essential that Zelsis locks down his Garage control just to make it a little bit more easy onto the retake. And Leaf is taking it into a completely different direction. Time has already been burnt off the clock here. G2, this is their time to shine. The trophy that they've been hunting for. All lies on this. The retake coming through. Zelsis watching for the flank. Leaf has been down and out. And the feed is filling up with blue. Jorgamo locking it down, crash up to the corner. And this is a rapid approach indeed. Sentinels. Not to be pushed back.
The retake attempt was so late, but so well orchestrated. The coordination from Sentinels, the spacing and the timing, it looks like last year. It looks like when they were at their tippity top and relied so heavily on these retakes to get back in. G2, because Bang is always alive in these spots, feel like they have to play on site. Narrate can't believe how easy that was. G2, broken economy. They had a tournament point. 4 chances, down to 3. And honestly, round 20 was the exception. Other than that, it's been domination from Sen on the defense side of Haven. G2 are going to have to pick themselves back up.
On the backside of this timeout, but that is so damn hard. Money's not there for them, as you mentioned, and they've spoken about it in interviews. Going up against Sen, the 6th man has turned up. The crowd buff potentially active. It's a lot to overcome when you hear the stage vibrating, the roar of the crowd over every single misstep and mistake that you make on the stage.
If G2 allow themselves to dwell on that, then the choking question will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If they do lose this with 4 tournament points, all of those same questions are going to come crashing down. The closer Sen get to overtime, the more G2 are going to be mentally out of the game. This round, you don't have to think about it too hard if you're G2. Send it in a little bit, see if you can get some big ults online. Learn what you can, do what you can. And then round 23, see if you can lock things up. But for Sentinels, They've got to be perfect, and
Wait.
that just isn't.
It's a missed opportunity at that. Bit of spam coming through onto either side of this one. The shield is immediately gone. Okay, you're pulled into my world now, and Array wants to take this fight straight to them. Okay, rewarded. Shield online, waits until the final moment. It's an aftershock as they were trying to predict that location. Array is the one to salvage the operation. Could have been Diane, could have gone wrong. But ultimately, it's Sentinels here.
Cleaning up a small error from Bang. A big round from Narrate. But no ISO ult for rifle rounds. Forced to use it on the eco. And as flashy as that is, it's not necessarily a good thing. 2 more opportunities for G2 to close things out and storm the stage, hoist the trophy.
This could potentially be one of the hardest rounds that SEN have ever played. The ults are building. The fault line is the salvos. Postured and pushed them back. Dimensional drift to account for. Jogo's been getting constant information from this. John forced to retreat as well, give up most of this side. Now Zefkin, he's still sticking around as an Armageddon. Cuts it up onto the one corner. Up through heaven as well. Jogamo.
His teleport is in spawn.
What options do they even have? I think they've seen it gliding straight past him. Senna grouping up. They're ready and waiting for this one. Valen with the plant, sticking. They're going to push it back. The Hunter's Fury is delayed.
It's
late.
Jogamo!
He's into back lines! Jogamo! He's tearing him a new one. And now Sentinels left to do it, just 3 left standing. A player disadvantage. Here's the retake coming through. The blinds are good, but the kills need to be better. And G2 will not be denied. It's a death knell tolls. And for Sentinels themselves, it all lands on their shoulders. A bang. 1 to be fine, but 2 more left standing. G2. They've been tested, they've been pushed, but a util just makes it almost impossible. TP forwards, 11 HP to his name. Jubilation for G2. The victory that eluded them. A title gained and garnered. Finally, they get their win in our grand finals of America's Kickoff.
What a show, what a way to send these Americas teams to Masters Bangkok. And G2 with that kickoff trophy to boot. Fair's fair, Sentinels got the one last year. And this year felt like in 2025, it was G2's time, but my God, were they tested.
Oh yeah.
I thought we were going to see a cleaner victory. They hadn't dropped a map up until the grand finals, but Sen, even when they looked down and out on Haven, when it looked like they hadn't had enough practice with the comp, pushed G2 to their limits.
Did not make it easy for them. Not whatsoever. But it's G2 the ones here standing right now. And they are your America's Kickoff champions.
They've been waiting, denied this moment multiple times last year. Incredible. Had to show a lot more than they'll have wanted to, I think, though, heading into a Masters event. Some things to tighten up. But that curse overcame.
Absolutely. Unreal stuff from G2. That hefty weight has got to feel good. We're going to send it down to the floor momentarily as well.
All right, everybody, let's keep that going a few more times. Your kickoff grand champions, G2 Esports! I got to get a quick question from each of you, an answer. Josh, usually this is where I say, how proud are you about the team? And feel free to say that. But it looks like you got a pretty international team here, and that grind can be long and tough throughout the year. How does the coaching staff, how do you prepare for a team that's going to continue to bring you to these events?
Ooh, I don't know, but I'll start off with, like, I'm so damn proud of my players and believing in the process. It's been a long one, you know. Honestly, it's been like 2 years, maybe 3 years for some of these guys, and I'm just so happy that I'm able to give them a path forward to realize their dreams, and mine too.
Well, it's been absolutely amazing, Josh. Congratulations on the win. Jogamo, a world champion. Now you get to lift a title here in North America. When you came to this team, what did you want to make sure you brought to the squad?
Oh, the main thing is I wanted to bring a trophy to these guys. I know they've been working so hard since Ascension, and winning this Americas title means a lot to them. So I know that we're going to kill the rest of the year like that.
All right, amazing. Giacomo, congrats on being able to achieve that. Jonah, I got to ask you, we're always watching, people are looking. What are some of the things you can say about your team that we're not seeing outside of the game that are actually making the wins count?
Honestly, it's just our mental. Every round, like even that last game was very hard. You know, we just have to bring each other up, and like Josh preaches, just fighter mentality every round. So that's it.
All right, congrats on the win. Congrats, Valen. One of the loudest voices out there, always talking, always chatting. You have been grinding as an IGL for this trophy. What does it mean to finally get your team over the line to hold that trophy?
I mean, like we were back-to-back domestic last year and we lost. So those were like some of the worst feelings I felt going back-to-back and losing both. And this time means a lot to me because it was so like hard working to get this win. There were times where we felt like they were playing better than us. I mean, even this last game, we're gonna come back down, but we pulled through. And you know, it just gives me a lot of confidence with these boys going into international play that I'm not the curse, because they won Spotlight without me, and I was like, dude, am I the curse for grand finals? And if we lost today, I would have been convinced, but never. I'm not. So
never, man. Well, congratulations on the win. I'm glad that's confirmed for you now. Leaf, this is actually pretty nice. I like this. One singular leaf, one singular trophy, as it should be, as you have been fighting for. I got to ask you, you're all about the mechanics. Everybody's always saying you're one of the best players, but you're also watching a lot of VODs. Who are you most excited to play when you get to Bangkok?
Probably Vitality.
Okay, why is that?
I mean, we scrimmed them when they were here in America, and I mean, I feel like in terms of raw firepower and like potential, I think they're the only people that rival us in the game.
All right, awesome. Congrats on the win. I'm gonna fist underbump. All right, Trent. One of the longest on the team, also one of the youngest on the team. I remember when you first played on the LAN, it was kind of like, oh my God, Trent can't have music. Can Trent play without music? But that wasn't even the case. You've changed so much. For you though, what has been the biggest change? How has Trent grown?
I think the coaching staff and like all my teammates have helped me grow a lot, and you know, just learning to get fundamentals down, playing with my team, better my utility, just all around player really.
What's it feel like to lift a trophy in front of your parents, your family?
Feels very good. Shout out to them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your kickoff grand champions, G2 Esports! Don't go anywhere. We have the Stage 1 draw show for a little sneak peek into the action we're about to get in Stage 1. Stick with us.
En la segunda está tocado. ¡Qué bien! Con todo de Coma esta ronda.
It's going to be another one from EU as he looks for a fourth kill. The jump, possibly the ace coming in from EU. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hot series.
Kickoff was just the beginning. VCT Americas, the best region, you know it's true, returns to the Riot Games Arena on March 21st for Stage 1. This is a 5-week gauntlet where every single match matters, setting the stage for Masters Toronto and beyond. Here's how it works. Based on their performance at Kickoff, our 12 squads will be split into 2 groups of 6. Each team will play the other teams within their group once, and crucial championship points are on the line. The Stage 1 playoffs start on April 24th, and this year, the bracket has been expanded to include 8 teams. The number 1 seeds from each group get a bye and skip the first round of competition, leaving the number 2 and number 3 seeds from each group to fight it out in our opening matches. The number 4 seeds are going to have to pull off a miracle run, because those 2 teams start in the lower bracket right from the jump. The team that finishes in 4th place will have to settle for a championship point as a consolation prize, and watch as the top 3 book a trip to Masters Toronto. The 3rd place team will score 2 championship points, and 2nd place takes home 3. The Stage 1 winner walks away with a whopping 5 points, as well as the coveted Stage 1 trophy. The action starts on March 21st. If you want to see the drama unfold live and in person at the Riot Games Arena, and maybe have Golden Boy or I throw swag at you, tickets will go on sale following the conclusion of Masters Bangkok. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Valley Sports NA for all the latest news, exclusive video content, and more.
They know where second is, and they're going to be dropping it on him. Narrate is close by, and he's dead. Chauncey and second delivers for Sen City.
No lo consigue la Shorty, ahora sí, 1 contra 1 por parte de Shari.